we're going to get started on our watercolor wash. We have drawn our sea turtle, and I've used pencil to draw where I want my seagrasses, and then I'm going to add color with the oil pastels, and now I'm ready to do the watercolor wash. So I have my brush sitting in just a couple inches of water, and I'm going to take my brush and just place it here, a drop of water in the green, a drop of water in the blue, and a drop of water in the purple. When you open up your watercolor palette, remember, black is sitting right next to the red, and all the way down on the other end is brown. We're going to use cool colors, green, blue, and purple for our watercolor wash, our ocean for our sea turtle. So now I'm going to dip into the blue, and I'm going to begin washing over my watercolor paper. And I'm just going to take a dab of water and keep going back and forth. Now I am picking up just a little bit of color, but I also want to be careful to move those puddles along. So if you have puddles, move them along. I'm going to use just a little more blue, and then I'm going to switch colors. Oh, I've got a puddle, so I want to keep moving that along. And I have a surface under my watercolor paper so that I can go all the way off of the paper to get my sea turtle in the ocean. I'm going to dab and just come up and dab on the side and get some green. I'm going to put some green, and I'm going to come right up and brush into the blue as well. Now if you notice, the pastels are holding strong. They are not allowing me to paint into them, but they will allow me to get into the little cracks and openings in the paper. So I'm going to get some purple now. Oh, I'm making a beautiful ocean. Do you notice I am going side to side in my watercolor painting? And my brush is staying happy, so I'm brushing just gently back and forth. I'll use a little more green. And if your color is very dense, meaning very thick, just get a little bit of water and move it along. It looks like my turtle is in the ocean. I'm going to put a little bit of purple down there. Oh, and I'm going to look for puddles. You want no puddles. And I'm going to just get all those little details. And my turtle is swimming in its ocean. I'm going to set my brush in the water, just dab it. I'm going to just brush it up a little bit on the side and dab it with my paper towel and lay it down. And we've put our sea turtle in the ocean. We've used oil pastels and watercolor resist. All right, our watercolor painting is dry. Did you notice when yours was wet, it had curled a little bit? Well, just let it dry and it'll flatten out. So now I have my black oil pastel. I have waited until the very end, and the black oil pastel really makes your drawing and your painting pop. So I'm going to start and just go right along those pencil lines and just outline all of my areas where I created my drawing in my ocean picture, even around your turtle, and go all the way around, and take your time. Remember, oil pastels are held slightly differently than you would a pencil. You want to hold it with your thumb, with your 4 fingers on the other side, and that will prevent you dragging your hand through the oil pastels and making smudges. So you want to go all around all those parts, and all of a sudden your sea turtle is becoming very vivid. You can see all of those details. Even the smallest areas, you can add a little bit of that black. Put an eye on the fish. Oh, I'm going to make some eyes for my turtle. Make sure you fill in so your turtle has eyeballs. Can see. Oh, we are almost finished with our sea turtle. This has been a lot of fun, and you can really see how the watercolor got into all the little areas where paper was left behind, but yet that oil pastel is still resisting and letting you see it shine through. I'm going to go around my bubbles, and I think we are nearly finished with our picture. All right. All right, we're going to draw a giant squid. Just like in the story by Kevin Sherry, I'm the biggest thing in the ocean. We have our paper, it's folded in half, and the fold is down nearest to me. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to put my hand in the center and make 2 up and down lines, or vertical lines, that cross that fold line. So when I fold it, I can see lines on both sides. Now, we're going to start with our eyes. We're going to make eyes up here in the corner. And I'm using my black oil pastel. So in each corner, you're going to make an eye. And we'll be cutting these out a little later. Now, I'm going to make 2 leaning lines that come up to a point. It looks like a triangle without its bottom. So here I go. And there is our squid's head. I'm going to open it up. There. I'm going to turn it over. And I can see those 2 marks I made. Now, we're going to make our tentacles. Our squid tentacles are long and wiggly. And tentacles are the squid's arms. There, and I want to make sure that I come back up and connect with those 2 lines, so when I open it up, I have my squid. All right. We have made a giant squid. All right, let's cut our squid out. I have my scissors, I have my thumb up, and my hands, 2 or 3 fingers. I like to use 3, up to you. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come and cut my squid eyes away from my squid and set them up over and away. And I'm going to cut on the outside of the black line. I'm going to go very carefully Now you notice, there's a trail. There's a tail following me. I'm going to get rid of that tail. And I'm going to get my scissors positioned back in place. And if that tail starts to become bothersome, I'm going to snip that off. And I'm going to keep going on the outside of the black line that I have created in the outline of my squid. I'm going to come all the way down to the tentacles. Oh, I see that long tail. I'm going to turn my paper, hold it, and this is where you might also ask a grown-up to help you, because as you're going in, it's going to get a little tricky. And so I very carefully, I'll just keep trimming away. Sometimes I might start right on the other side and work my way up. And I'm going slow. I'm going to very carefully trim that off. So I'm carving out my squid's tentacles. And you're going to do that on all of your tentacles. Take your time as you are cutting. And then I'm going to go around the outside of the black line of my eyes. I'm going to go holding my paper and turning it as I cut. And I want to set those aside because I'm going to paint my squid next. And I'm going to keep all my scraps as well because I'm going to draw some ocean friends for my giant squid. Oh, you know what I also like? I'm going to grab my black oil pastel and I want to put a mouth on my squid. And then I'm going to cut right inside. My squid is the biggest thing in the ocean. And that story is one of my favorites by Kevin Sherry. And so, if you forget to draw your mouth, you can always add that as you're cutting. So save your scraps. You can draw some ocean creatures. And there are our eyes. We're going to save our eyes. And after our squid is painted, then we'll do our planning. Oh, there. It's coming along beautifully, isn't it? I have my watercolors. I have left my fish to dry at least a day. And now I'm ready to add some color. Remember, this is black, this is brown. Cool colors, purple, blue, green. Warm colors, red, orange, yellow. Think, what color will you use for your fish? What color will you use for your fins, your eye? I'm going to start with my eye. I'm going to dip into the water, and this is a little different than when we created the sea turtle and we wanted a nice juicy brush, a nice wet brush. Here we want to be very careful of how much water we are adding. There's our eye. So that you do not re-wet your Model Magic and it will get sticky. I'm going to make red. So the drop of water in your watercolor is enough to get it wet and no need to put it back in the water again. Let's see. Oh, let's make those lips. There. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous. And I'm going to make sure that my brush is clean and ready. I'm going to do some yellow around the eye. Oh, be careful of that black that's sitting in there. some yellow on the fin, on the top fin. And maybe the bottom fin. And you're going to go all through and finish your fish, remembering not to get your fish too wet. Even though it's an ocean animal, we want to keep this ocean animal from getting sticky. It will need to be set aside again to dry. And I'm just going right on top of my Model Magic sculpture. And as it dries, you'll find that your colors may lighten a little bit, and that's okay. All right, I'm going to reach over and show you our finished fish. And with the Model Magic, instead of seagrasses, I added some fish and a starfish. Fish sculpture with oil pastels.